Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sam Oniyemi, and welcome to another edition of Points in the Paint, brought to you by For Frequency's Sake, where we talk all things NBA basketball. And yeah, we'll get right to it. I believe the last time we were on, we were going over the OG and Anobi trade for the Knicks and the Raptors. Since then, the Raptors have also traded Pascal Siakam. Looks like they traded him to the Indiana Pacers for a package that includes Bruce Brown, Jordan Noir, Kira Lewis, and three first round picks. Toronto's obviously in the rebuild. They got can't think of his name right now. RJ Barrett, there we go, and Emmanuel quickly from the Knicks by getting rid of OG and Anobi, and they still have Scotty Barnes. So the Raptors are in the rebuild. It's a good trade for the Raptors to get the first round picks. They'll probably end up flipping Bruce Brown to a contender. He's only got a 2-year deal and he's a little older. So I think Bruce Brown will probably get moved at some point. Not sure about the other guys. I think the other guys are pretty young, Jordan and Kira Lewis. So we'll see what happens there. But the real key thing for Toronto is getting those three first round draft picks. Like that's key. Continuing to build your team around the current group of guys that you have. So kudos to the Raptors there. Their GM has definitely been making some really good moves. Um, and as of tonight, we'll look over the standings for the NBA. We'll start with the Eastern Conference. Boston is first. Milwaukee's number 2. Philadelphia's 3. Cleveland's 4. And the Knicks are 5. Miami is 6. Pacers are 7. Orlando's dropped a bit. They're 8th now. Chicago's 9th. And Atlanta's 10th. Followed by Brooklyn, Toronto, Charlotte, Washington, and Detroit. Um, no real surprises there. I think Orlando's kind of came back to earth. Orlando was like 2-1 at some point, but they're still a relatively young team. I think Orlando now is 23-20, so they've lost a few games. And you see coming that some of the top teams in the pack, as far as Boston and Milwaukee, they're kind of separating themselves. But I do think Milwaukee could still be had in the postseason just because of their defensive liabilities. So we'll see what happens there. Philadelphia still looking good. Cleveland's kind of pulled away too, and that's even more impressive given Darius Garland's been out. But Cleveland is sitting pretty at 25-15. But Knicks to have been bolstered by that trade on the OG and Anobi trade. So the Knicks have kind of pulled away 26-17. Then Miami just kind of remains steady at 24-19. Um, just 5 games over 500. We'll see what happens there. Kudos to my Bulls. They started off pretty bad, but we're 21-23. We're in the ninth spot right now, so we're in the play-in. But I think we could definitely climb some more. We could definitely catch Orlando, who's we're 2.5 games back. If not, we could definitely, and we can also catch Indiana. So kudos to us, for continuing to battle on. And then let's look at the Western Conference. We got Minnesota at 1, OKC at 2, Denver 3, Clippers 4, Pelicans 5, Mavs are 6th, Suns are 7th, Sacramento is 8th, the Lakers are 9th, and the Jazz are 10th. Followed by Houston, Golden State, Memphis, Portland, and San Antonio. Those are the bottom 5 teams in the West. They're not currently in playing or a playoff spot. No real surprises there. Minnesota's still surging. OKC as well. They're just, so much young talent in OKC. Obviously, Minnesota's got Anthony Edwards, and he's been playing like an MVP candidate along with the other good players they have there. Denver's kind of just coasting at that 3rd spot. They dealt with some injuries. Aaron Gordon was injured a few weeks ago. I believe he's back. But Denver's still sitting at the third spot, so they're good. The Clippers surging a bit, 27-14. They've kind of separated in that division. Pelicans have pulled away a bit too, along with Dallas, and Phoenix is starting to gain some ground as well too. You look at some of these bottom teams in the West. Sacramento's 8th spot, 23-18, 5 games over 500. Lakers 22-22, 500. The Lakers have been rumored to make a move, so we'll see what happens there. Utah's 22-22 as well. And yeah, I mean, you still have some teams. Houston, um, 20 and 22 can still get in. Golden State's 18 and 22. We'll see what they do. Heck, before John Morant went down, I believe John Morant went down after my last show. But before he went down, the Grizzlies were kind of rolling too. They're 15 and 27 now. I don't think they'll make the play-in tournament, but we'll see what they do to finish out the season. But yeah, no real surprises in the West. Clippers are, I think, the dark horse team to watch. Those four players they have there. Um, they'll be a scary matchup in the postseason, especially if all those guys are healthy. They'll be a tough out. I think they could just come at you with waves and waves in the postseason. So I would watch out for the Clippers in the West. That's the team that probably scares me the most. All right. Didn't really pick a dark horse in the East, but probably pick Miami. I believe they'll make a move. They'll get somebody off a waiver wire, and they'll be just as dangerous. They got Jimmy Butler. They're healthy. Tyler Hero. Then Kyle Lowry will do fine. The playoff series, everything slows down. So Miami's probably the team that you want to be scared of, because I don't think it really matters what seeding in Miami. The playoffs, they've went on some runs these last couple of years. Even last year, making it to the finals, coming out of the East, that was tough. That was a gladiator effort by the Miami Heat. So I'll definitely be worried about them in the postseason. Detroit, they're still bad. Nothing's changed. They're 4-38. They did break that crazy win streak, but they have that 9% or 10% winning percentage. So they're, if not guaranteed, a lock for that first number one overall pick. Spurs are just a little bit better than them at 834. They got Wembanyama. Spurs have been rumored to maybe want to trade for DeJounte Murray to pair along with Wembanyama. So we'll see what happens there. Portland's in a rebuild. Memphis has dealt with injuries. Washington's just bad. I wonder if Washington's going to make any moves before the deadline. Kyle Kuzma, maybe. I don't think anybody will take Jordan Poole or his contract. Charlotte, they just seem to be in the rut as well. They have some young talent there, but they just can't put it together. LaMelo's a great player. Terry Rozier's a good player. PJ Washington, Miles Bridges, they have some guys there. Even the rookie they just got this year, Brandon Williams, their rookie there, Brandon Miller, and they just stuck in mediocrity. Toronto's in the rebuild, but Toronto's still 16 and 27. I could see Toronto making a run for one of those playing games. Brooklyn 17 and 25. They're just outside the playing games. I know Ben Simmons has been out for a while, so Brooklyn's dealt with a few injuries, but that's all there is around the association. Let's look at some. I wonder if I can find All-Star weekend's coming up. I wonder if I can see who the top vote getters are. Looks like in the respective conference, LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Oh, I can. So I guess I can update you guys on the NBA All-Star uh, voting. Let's see if they'll let me. So we look at the Western Conference, the front court. We have LeBron, Jokic, Durant, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Alpharine Sengun from Houston, Paul George, Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren, and Sabonis as the last front court player. In the Eastern Conference, the front court is Giannis, Embiid, Tatum, Jimmy Butler, Jaylen Brown, Porzingis, Bam Adebayo, Paulo Banchero, Julius Randle, Mikal Bridges. Guards in the um, West, Luka's number 1, Curry's 2, Shea Gilgeous Alexander's 3, James Harden's 4. Good for you, James. Kyrie Irving's 5, Anthony Edwards is 6, De'Aaron Fox is 7, John Morant, that's surprising, is 8, Devin Booker's 9, and Austin Reeves from the Lakers is 10. The guards in the East, we have Tyrese Halliburton, Trey Young, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brunson, Derek White, LaMelo Ball, Drew Holiday, DeMar DeRozan. Wow. I'm actually surprised that John Morant's still on this list at 8, given that he's missed most of the season due to suspension and injury now. But this post came out January 18th, 2024. So uh, that's crazy. Derek White's a surprise on this list too. But the Celtics have been really good this year. Um, Crazy that Tyrese Halliburton's the number one guard in the East. I wouldn't figure that. I figured he'd be a top guard, but no disrespect to him. That says a lot. He is leading the league in assists, so um, good deal to see DeMar DeRozan on there, the one Bull player on there. I'm not surprised to see him on there. I'm surprised to see Austin Reeves on there as well. But that's and heck, even James Harden, but James Harden's number 4. So James is putting people, to sleep, putting his taters to sleep. So good for James. Uh, Shout out to Boncaro for Orlando, one of the young players on there. Jim Green making it as well. Wemiyama's on there. Some of the young players. Just looking at that, LaMelo Ball. Um, yeah, it's a nice assortment of lists. Mikal Bridges is on there. I believe Mikal Bridges. No, I don't know if he's ever made it, but they got some good guys on there. So that's good. The NBA is in good hands with some of these younger talent players. Let's see, what else do I have for you guys? Been really quiet on the NBA frontier. Porzingis is out is out for tonight's game for the Mavericks because of his knee, but yeah, not really much on there. I guess if we look at some of these trade candidates, potentially Zach Levine, nobody knows, is he going, is he not going? Only time will tell. You know, Toronto's made some moves. Deadline NBA trade the deadline, I believe, is February 8th. So still a little bit of time left before a move happens. So I guess we'll have to kind of take a wait and see approach. I guess I can update you on the scores of tonight's game. See. All right, looks like the Bucks and the Pistons halftime. Bucks are up 58-56. Cleveland is beating the Magic at halftime 72-47. Spurs and Sixers are in a tight one. Halftime, Sixers up 62-58. Grizzlies and Raptors not tied up at 32 in the second quarter. Hornets and T-Wolves first quarter. T-Wolves are up 16-14. And still got the Celtics and Mavericks tonight, Bulls and Suns tonight, and Hawks and Kings tonight. So couple good games still on there tonight. But I think I'm gonna call it for the night, guys. Kind of a bit under the weather. And yeah, I pretty much touched on everything. If any major trades happened, I will definitely get on and give my 2 cents on it. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it for tonight. Thank you for joining me for another edition of Points in the Paint. I am Sam. Feel free to tweet me at Mark0220 below. Anything basketball, anything you want me to touch on basketball, or if you just want to give your 2 cents. Thank you for joining the greatest show in America. And until next time, peace.